It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, folks, thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Lesante. We're going to continue on with Greco Brokerage. If you recall the first show, we had a lot of information that Blaise Greco presented. Today's show is going to be extremely interesting. But folks, let me tell you something about Greco Brokerage. Let me tell you about their mission statement. And this tells the whole story about this gentleman that we're going to talk to. Here is his mission statement: to treat our clients with honesty and integrity by doing the right thing, to do what we say and to say what we mean, to make wise choices by comparison shopping the best products and the price for our clients. The line between right and wrong is not blurred at Greco Brokerage. So I think that's pretty profound there, Blaise.
Thank you.
That's well, and you live up to that, okay?
Yes, I do.
Now, today you bring with us a slew of information, and I think powerful information, okay? So when it's people's money, and they're, everyone's trying to hang on whatever they can. They worked hard for it, and they're trying to do whatever they can. And so let's follow up from the last show with term insurance, okay? Good things and some concerns about it, but let's expand on that.
Yeah, last time I think we talked and you basically asked me, is it a good thing? And basically what I said was, I'm not advocating that everybody should go out and buy term, but the reason that it's appealing and that people are buying it is, as I mentioned to you, it's very inexpensive. And these companies are competing, and it changes. It changes all the time. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to bring an example and give an example. So like if we look down here and we look as an example, we took a 37-year-old female and we showed $250,000 on this comparison. And I have yours highlighted because I always know what I'm looking at. So as if you look at the top for 15-year, you see it's Banner, Protective, and American General. And you could see the premiums, how inexpensive, $167, $167, $176, moving down the chart at a preferred rate for a 15-year term.
So wait, let me stop you. So in other words, you're talking about an annual premium here. Are you talking about that this person would pay $167.02 a year?
That's correct.
Okay, now, and they're going to get a $250,000 insurance.
Correct. 37 female in very good health because it's a preferred rating.
Yeah, okay. So, however, let's assume, God forbid, the person's killed in an accident.
Doesn't matter.
They get $250,000.
Pays day one.
Yeah. Or God forbid, and I'm using hypotheticals here. So if the girl who is 37, down the road, 3 years from now, 4 years ago, gets breast cancer, and God forbid she dies.
Yeah.
Okay. She gets a $250,000.
Right. Yeah. This is the real deal.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you move to the right, Sam, and I don't want to take up too much time, but just so your viewers could see. So say the girl didn't get preferred because maybe she was taking some diabetic pills, or maybe she had some elevated cholesterol, which really doesn't even come into play. But I'm just using an example. So that premium would be $213. Okay, and of course she can actually get better than preferred. We have 3% of the people that get preferred select if you're in phenomenal shape, and the premiums are phenomenal. And of course it could be worse. Of course it could be below a standard. But then I just illustrated the 20 years as you see it, where the 20-year premium is $199, and it shows it's Banner, Protective, American General. I don't want to spend a lot of time. It just keeps on going down the road, like 20 years, 30 years, okay? Then what I did is I did $500,000. So let's just look at the 15-year at $500,000. So we had Banner, Protective, American General at the top. We had a premium of $263, $265, $274. I'm going to flip the page over to say this young lady said, well, I want a 30-year term for $500,000. Okay, we have Prudential now, takes the #1 spot into 30-year for $520. Then we have Banner Life at $528 and American General for $529. And the point I'm making here when I say shopping products and price for our clients, as you can see by how much insurance you're buying and the age and the health, that all plays in. Let's look at $1 million on a 15-year term. We have American General at $464 a year. Level premium for 15 years. Second, we have, which is Bright House, which was the former MetLife, $469, and then Banner under that at $474. Let's say, I'm going to skip over to 20 and we go to 30 years. We have Banner at number one at $944 a year, level for 30 years. Prudential at $945.
How many years is that? 20.
30.
So when you're looking at a 37 years old and she gets $1 million policy, when she's 67, which is 30 years, okay, she still has that million. What happens after that then?
Well, then that's why we always say with term, you know, it's exactly what it is, term. So she has no more insurance. The idea here would be she's in her prime, she's raising her children, she has a mortgage, and she says, you know, I could afford $1,000, but I can't afford $10,000 or $12,000.
Yeah, right.
And so she has peace of mind, and she's protecting her family. She can convert this at any time, too.
Okay.
But, you know...
Well, when you say convert, what do you mean?
Well, if we take some of the better companies, like in other words, if somebody tells me I'm never going to convert this and I just want term, okay? Well, with those companies, what I'll do is, you know, I'll go with the cheapest rate, so it don't have to be a company that has a good product to convert to. But if somebody says, you know, I might convert this in 10 years, or, you know, well, then I'll look...
Convert to life.
Right, to convert the whole life or universal.
Right.
We'll look at a better company.
Okay.
You know, a good company that has good conversion privileges, that has a good
So
product.
you're giving the options right up front.
Yeah, right up front. They tell me what they want.
So when you're talking about shopping products and price for your clients, there it is.
Yeah, I wanted to advance on that because we were vague last time, and you know, there's a lot. So, and I know we went quickly, but I think we're giving your viewers enough that they could look at the numbers and say, hey, here it is.
Yeah. Now, folks, phone number for Blaise is 570-401-6008, and they go to the website, grecobrokerage.com/SSPTV for additional information. Now, we talked about the gift of love and paid up life insurance guaranteed. Okay? Now, what was that?
Okay, so, you know, you see these grandparents and always looking to do something, you know, for their grandchildren and/or parents. And, you know, I have a couple companies now, and I want to just give an illustration, and I think I may have highlighted yours for you if you go to it. But usually we'll use whole life, always guaranteed products. Now, here's an example I did on a 5-year-old male, okay, where the parent would put $2,000 a year for 10 years. So they're going to put a cumulative total of $20,000. This is a guaranteed paid up product at that time. So it's going to start off with a face amount of $174,369 of life insurance, and it's going to build cash value. Now, if I go down here again, they'll see at year 11, age 16, there's no more premiums being paid. At year 30 of the policy...
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So after 10 years, they make the payments for $2,000 apiece.
Correct.
Okay. And then at the 11th year, there's no more premiums to be paid?
None, zero.
None.
This particular product we call a dial-up product. I used a 10-year plan. We can go anywhere from 1 year to 5 years to 7 to 10 to 15 to 20. The client tells us.
And the cash value continues on even though you're not paying premium.
Right. You'll see it. It's horrendous. Most of these companies pay pretty close to their dividends. This particular company that I won't mention because I'm not here to endorse any particular insurance company, but they have right now a 10-year run, and they're just about beating everybody, and they've been in business a long, long time.
So here is a grandparent or whomever for their grandchildren or whomever, okay? They buy this policy. It's a face value of $174,369. They're going to pay $2,000 a month, a year premium on that. They're going to pay that $2,000 for 10 years.
Right.
They stop paying that. There's no more. However, the cash value continues to increase, as well as the death benefit continues to increase. So now, when this child, okay, is 5 years old, let's assume now you had 20 years. He's now 25 years old, okay? He has a cash value here of $34,859 on the right hand, non-guaranteed assumptions. Guaranteed is guaranteed $26,173.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So he could keep that in as long as he wants to, and it continues to build up and doesn't cost him a cent.
Correct. And one other thing I want to point out, the policy could be designed as such. This particular one isn't, but we could design it as such so that if the child wants to continue to make payments, he could.
Okay, so to add up to the cash value.
Yeah, and let's just look at one more, just for the heck of it, for your viewers. Let's turn the page and let's look at age, the year 55, age 60, okay? If we look at to the right-hand side, we got a total cash value of $285,000 based on a $20,000 investment and a $592,000 death benefit. Now, what I'm here to tell you is if that child would have elected to continue to put $2,000 a year, this would make this kid a millionaire. You know?
Folks, I'm talking to Blaise Greco from Greco Brokerage Services. The phone number is 570-401-6008. And learn more about this on grecobrokerage.com/SSPTV. We'll be back with more about this great opportunity for you. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show. Folks, as usual, we learn a lot on the Sam Lesante Show. Remember, download our app, SSPTV. All of the shows that we do, all of the great information that we give you are on our app on the Sam Lesante Show, plus every other show we produce. For example, this show today with Blaise Greco from Greco Brokerage Services, giving you great information as to what you can do investment-wise or insurance-wise would be on our app under the Sam Lesante Show. Okay, so Blaise, get in touch with you, 570-401-6008, or definitely go to grecobrokerage.com/SSPTV. We talked about wealth transfers, okay? Now, is that a good thing?
Well, you asked me before. We talked about we said about the 80-year-old guy, and that's why I wanted to advance on this a little bit. We talked about him going to have a taxation issue, and I asked him about his health, and he laughed, and anyhow, he ended up getting a standard rating at 80 years old. So for your viewers that are seniors and may have some money and say, hey, I'd like to do something, it could be an opportunity depending on how their health is.
Show me how this works.
Okay, so what I did is I took an example here. So I showed that if a male age 65 would put $100,000 into this particular policy, it would guarantee and buy, once and done, a $228,608 death benefit. We have that up for your clients to see. No more future payments, guaranteed the $120,000. And just want to touch base here. We talked about this before. Sometimes we use this with estate planning and stuff where we'll, again, as I mentioned, making the adult children owners or using a trust or an insurance to remove the money. So gift the money out of the estate, let the policy be owned outside the estate. Depends how creative you want to get, and that's up to the client and what they're trying to achieve. But in any event, you're going to pass on $228,000 tax-free to your heirs, completely free of probate.
Are there, so when you say heirs, if the 65-year-old male had a son who is 45 years old, it doesn't make any difference how old the age is. I mean, the heirs are.
Right. Makes no difference.
So if a person who is 80 years old or 75 years old, and they, for tax reasons, okay, they want to go into this universal life insurance policy, okay, which is the the wealth transfers.
Correct.
Okay? So they're going to benefit from the taxes that they don't have to pay on that. So they now buy a $100,000 policy for whomever they want to buy it for. That's the transfer, correct?
Right.
All right. And automatically on this one here, 65, the person gives you $100,000. It's guaranteed. God forbid that heir should die. It's $226,000, $28,000 immediately.
Immediately, yeah. There's no.
And then I see accumulates. Now, when you go down to 10 year, you have $100,000. They have to put another $100,000 in.
No. That's just showing a cumulative total. No.
Okay.
It's a once and done deal.
That's it.
And this is a GUL, which means it's a guaranteed. Again, everything we're talking about today, I want your viewers to know is guarantees. There's no speculation. There's no hypotheticals. There's no, this is all guaranteed. So yeah, this is guaranteed to age 120.
Wow.
And again, we're finding that people like this. They're looking for things to do, or they're looking for ways to take this money, say I'm not going to use it, and they may retire. Now the flip side, real quick, just to show on the, we did a young lady. She just picks up more insurance. That's all. she gets 266 at a standard issue. She'd pick up 266 just because of the women always, you know, pan out. But that's basically, I wanted to show, like, we talked about it, and I wanted to give an example.
Now, sometimes this wealth transfer can really be beneficial to both parties, both the heirs as well as the person who's, they could save thousands of dollars worth of taxes here.
That's right.
And see, this is sometimes people, you know, they want to, you know, I know unless you fully understand, you know, if you had a nest egg, for example, that you saved, and, you know, some people have money saved, and you know, they look at, God forbid, something happens to them, if they have a will or whatever, still money has to be paid. What is the best way to do it? That's why I ask you, is it a good thing? In some cases, this is an excellent thing for wealth transfers, right? To learn more about this wealth transfer, again, is to give them a call, 401-6008. GrecoBrokerage.com/SSPTV. What we're giving you today, folks, are bullet points, trying to explain as much as we can. But you know, there's a lot more that's involved sometimes, and he's the guy. Blaise Greco is the guy to give it to you. So let's move on to single premium whole life.
Yeah, now single premium whole life is, you know, I've always been a fan of this from when I was in my 20s when Metropolitan first introduced it. This is an excellent place for people that want like a CD alternative, and you know, and don't really, you know, don't anticipate on needing the money. Now let's look at why I say this. Again, I used a 65-year-old, relatively in good health, a non-tobacco user, puts $100,000 in a single premium whole life, buys them instamatically $166,362 worth of death benefit. Okay. Right off the bat. But what I like about this product, let's look even on the guaranteed side, okay? You put $100,000 in, by year 4, you've recouped your money. If you wanted to cash the policy in at the end of year 4, you can take back all your money on a guaranteed basis. If you go on over to the illustrative basis, based on performance, at the end of year 3, you'd have $102,000, $398. In the meantime, you're insured for $168, and that continues to increase, as you see as the right-hand column. 168, 171, 173 continues to go up. So let's just look at, like, let's just take this person and say in 15 years. So in 15 years, they're 80 years old. If let's say they wanted to cash out. They have $126,000 guaranteed. The guaranteed minimum death benefit's $166. The total cash value is $158,000. At the end of 15 years, they've picked up $58,000 if they want to cash out. The death benefit's $207,000 tax-free.
Okay, so let me ask you now, if they take the cash value, do they lose the death benefit?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it.
Right.
They're taking the cash,
right.
But if they keep it in, that's what the
right. And that's why I said it's a good alternative. Like, say somebody's teeter-tottering with saying, hey, I might like the insurance, but I might need the money. Well, you know, when you look at CD rates, and you just look what I told you. In fact, I could do an internal rate of return on here. I didn't do it because I don't want to get the viewers all, you know, but if I was at their home, I could do an internal rate of return showing what is the actual rate of return on this, you know, inside the policy versus cash value versus death benefit. You'll be very impressed.
570-401-6008. There's the number, and GrecoBrokerage.com/SSPTV. We come back, we're going to talk about elaborate on fixed and index annuities and guaranteed issue life insurances, etc. There's so much that we could talk about. We could probably fill a 4-hour show here. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Blaise Greco here, Greco Brokerage Services, talking about some very interesting things about your life. Now, if you just tuned in, we run this show, as you know, many times, but I would suggest that you go to our app, SSPTV, search SSPTV, download it. Sam Lesante Show, hit it, you'll see Sam Lesante/Greco, and he'll be more than happy. You'll be more than happy to see what we're talking about. Now we're going to talk about, let's elaborate on fixed and indexed annuities. These things always fascinate me.
Okay, so we touched on fixed annuities last time, and I'm just going to go a little further for your viewers. And I had explained that it's similar to CD. and it is for simplicity purposes. But the rates are really good. We're getting some, nice rates considering this low interest environment in the CD market.
Yeah.
I've been getting some stuff as high as 3.5, 3.75. It fluctuates 3.25, 3. It depends. Every week somebody's jumping in. But again, we talked it's tax deferred. So again, there's no taxation, and we talked about line 80A. If you're getting nailed with a lot of tax, that's a good thing. You've got the tax deferral. You've got a stated beneficiary on there. So the beauty of that is, avoidance of probate. Okay, that's another item that you can consider taking out of your estate. But another beauty that people miss on the annuity, because they go, what is that? I just don't understand it. And is you can take a 10% withdrawal every year. And I think that we discussed that, you and I, before this. You can take 10% out every single year. So if you have $100,000 and let's just say year one's okay, I don't need it. Year two, well, I have to put a roof on a house. You can go in and you can take $10,000 out. So again, with the fixed annuity, you've got that tax deferral, you've got the 10% withdrawal, you've got competitive interest rates. And
so when you're looking at this, okay, and
now this particular one is on the indexed.
Okay,
this one.
Let's talk about this index. The one that's on the screen now.
Sure. It shows a husband and wife, Karen and Bill, and it shows that Karen elected to go into the indexed annuity, and she chose the index, the S&P index, and Bill, her husband, chose to go S&P 500. Now, it does show they invested somewhere around between 2007 and 2008. The point is that in the long run, okay, her husband did outdo her. He has 159,530, and she has 137,454. But to illustrate my point, if you look at the fluctuation, you see how the S&P goes up and down. Depending on where you might have gotten in at, and where you might have gotten out at, could be a problem. I'm not suggesting people don't invest in the market. The market's doing phenomenal. Like I said on your last show, if you want guarantees and you want safety, this is a good place for some of your money. Not all of your money, some of your money. And a lot of people, Sam, say to me about, hey, Blaise, I heard something on TV and, they're saying annuities are bad and what, Well, look, if you're on the brokerage side, you're going to say mutual funds are the greatest thing and do this. And you're on the annuity side, do this. I don't think mutual funds are bad. I don't think stocks are bad. I think it's a matter of having a nice mix and knowing what you want.
Here again, you've been in this business many, many, many years, okay? It's just like a doctor. He's giving you options. The options are all good options is what you want to do, okay? And what you're doing is you have the experience, but you have that menu for people to look at. So they'll say, look, Blaise, I have $25,000 I want to invest, or I have $50,000, or I have $10,000, okay? Then what you're doing, because you shop, you're shopping all of these, you're able to present to them something that's feasible for them, right? All I could say, Blaise, is that people have to trust somebody. You know that. You've been dealing with seniors many, many years. And sometimes seniors are very cautious because they worked hard for their money. They certainly want someone to take it away. And that's why you're on the show today. Because I value my seniors, okay? They're people that are the salt of the earth. And these are people that deserve the best. And I'm sure if they call you, you'll give them the best.
I give them the best. I could help them. And like I always tell you, there's absolutely no obligation.
He's not going to hound you. I'll guarantee that right now, folks. He's not the pusher. But the phone number, if you don't have a website, okay, the phone number is, it's on the screen, 570-401-608, 401-608, or GrecoBrokerage.com/SSPTV for all your information. For those people who want to know about this show, if they don't get our broadcast, and we're showing this in 4 market areas, Comcast 190 in Pottsville, here 13 and 513 in Greater Hazleton on Service Electric Cablevision, Service Electric Communications in Mountaintop, Wilkes-Barre, and Kingston on Channel 92 on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and Comcast 190 Lackawanna County, Saturday and Sunday mornings. But download our app, SSP TV. Thanks for coming on the show, Blaise.
Thanks for having me, Sammy.
We'll see you next time.